Yeah. Hello and good morning, everybody. We are joined today with two-time parliamentarian representing Trinamool Congress, the party's chief national spokesperson, sports writer, and India's most popular quizmaster, Derek O'Brien. Thank you for joining us on Quint, sir.
Maitri, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I have not done these digital online interviews. This is almost my debut.
Oh, so like his debut of political books, like a lot of you will know that Derek O'Brien has written 52 books before, and with this 53rd book, that is Inside Parliament, Views from the Front Row, he's also made his political debut, like how he's making the digital interview debut with us on the Quint. So today, for all those who are joining us, we are going to be talking to him about his book, where he's written about his experiences as a parliamentarian, and also on issues that are currently plaguing our country, and the way forward for both India and his party, Trinamool Congress. So, sir, you've been in politics for almost 15 years now.
Yes.
So, why have you decided to write the book now? Is there a reason?
Well, when I joined the Trinamool Congress from 2003-2004, right after 2011, those are very difficult years. Because when you join a political party, the first thing is to try and gain the confidence of that political party and its leadership. So it's hard work. So it was only in 2011, 7-8 years after I joined the party, that I came to Parliament. So it hasn't been a teddy bear's picnic. And now I thought this is the time where I had spoken in Parliament, I had expressed myself in many ways. So I thought maybe you don't only write a book when you retire from politics. You don't only write a book when someone sacks you. So I thought, let's do the book and express myself in these 50 essays. And my party has been very encouraging. Mamatadi has been very encouraging. See, because Mamatadi's story is not a story. Everybody knows the good side. You know, she became chief minister, she threw out the communists. But before that, Maitri, there was a lot of struggle. You know, she joined politics at the age of 16 as a student leader. And a lot of struggle, a lot of people movements. Everyone says they know about Nandigram or they know about Singhud. But there were so many other movements and people movements which now bore fruition after an election win.
So talking about your own journey also, in the book you've written about how you slipped into the parliament, into the back rows, and how you've made your way to the front row. Is being on both these rows different, or how has your learning been? Because you also call Parliament as a university in your book.
I do believe Parliament is a university. I'm only a second-time MP. There are many inside who are 5-time, 6-time MPs, and I think if you ask them, they'll also tell you it's a university, because every day you walk in there, you learn something new, you know about the rules, you know how business is conducted, plus more than all of this, you also listen to different views on a particular subject. So I do believe it is a university in education. It's a university. And about the different rows, that you know, I think every MP has the same weight, whether you're sitting in the 7th row or the 5th row or the 1st row. So we'd like to say it's no big deal, but obviously if you're sitting in the 1st row means your party has enough numbers to warrant a 1st row seat. Number 2 is that you're the leader of that party. Okay. So you're taken, everyone is taken seriously, but maybe you'll be more, you know, you'll get a little more time to speak, or when you stand up, you'll be given a chance to speak. So that is it. Of course, being in the 1st row, I sometimes feel like a teenager, because if you look at that 1st row in Rajya Sabha and you look at the experience, you know, at seat number 1, we have the leader of the house, Mr. Jaitley, then we have the Prime Minister. Of course, we have Mr. Amit Shah is going to come, the newbie. He's the new kid on the block, who's going to be the 3rd row. Then all the leaders, including Dr. Manmohan Singh and everybody there. So it's great. In fact, you know, I think in the first 7 years in Parliament, first 6 years, is besides all the issues we've raised, besides all the discussions and the discourse, you make friendships, and you start relationships. And not all of these necessarily are those which share your political view. So I have sharp differences with MPs there from other political parties, especially the BJP. But that doesn't come in the way of having a courteous, gracious, decent relationship outside Parliament.
Okay. So you speak very fondly of the Rajya Sabha. Like even now you spoke about how it's very nice to be inside the house. But in the book, you're also, being very, you're expressing concern about those who want to rethink the powers of Rajya Sabha. You're also calling those who are forcing the government to rethink the powers as people who are being dishonest. So why do you think so?
Actually, Maitri, I don't think it's a debate at all. I was disappointed that a parliamentarian I look up to as a parliamentarian, Mr. Arun Jaitley, who's the leader of the House, two points here. One is he made a speech saying that Rajya Sabha itself is irrelevant. I think that was a petty politics. That was like,
Even he himself comes.
Yeah, he comes from the Rajya Sabha, and actually, frankly, he lost the Lok Sabha election in 2014, and it is because of the Rajya Sabha that Indian Parliament hasn't lost a good parliamentarian like him. So, number one, he wants to disband the Rajya Sabha. So, we can have a debate on this. I mean, any issue can be debated, but I think it's a no-brainer. But the second more dangerous trend, and that's what I write in the book about the BJP they're breaking down institutions, and one of the institutions they're really breaking down or not taking seriously is Parliament. That's why there's a chapter on Article 110, and where I say the leader of the House, Mr. Jaitley, should wear a jersey saying 110, because every few weeks they're coming up with a bill, and they're calling it a money bill, and they're bringing it, for a money bill, as we learned in civics in school, that you don't need Rajya Sabha's approval. So I think it's these institutions like these. Now they've called Parliament. Do we have any questions coming in from you guys? So I want to see, since we're doing a Facebook Live. Otherwise, you listen to politicians talking, but more young people today want to be heard. They want to express themselves. So we go on in a monologue, and I don't know if these are the issues which are really interesting people now. For example, did you say the name of my new book? You did?
Yeah.
Okay. I was in advertising for 8.5 years before I joined, before I started my quiz company, started it and became a politician. So I'm very concerned since I'm doing advertising of a book. Actually, it's not advertising of a book. It's talking about issues, inside Parliament. And where do I sit? On the front row. So that's why. So I got a free plug. Okay. But on a more serious note, yes. So, like for example, pushing Parliament back and having it between 15th of December to the 5th of January. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say this has got nothing to do with Gujarat elections. Now, those watching your program, are you going to believe the BJP when they tell you that this has nothing to do with Gujarat elections? Of course, it's everything to do with the Gujarat election, but that's not what I'm saying. People who are watching, they're very sharp. Today, they're online. They're watching less television. They're having more platforms like these. And they know why Parliament has been delayed. Because the BJP cannot answer the hard questions. And I write about this in my book. About J, we have to judge them. JUDGE. We have to judge. And since they're so good at acronyms, so we also came up with an acronym. J is we have to ask them hard questions. Where are the jobs? Hard questions. How bad has been the underperformance? U. D. What a mess you made of this scam called demonetization. D. GST. Why the hasty rollout? And E. Look at the economy and the shambles it is in. So we have to stay on these issues, JUDGE, and not get diverted into other issues which they want to debate, either about, polarization issues, religious issues, food issues. This is all to divert because they don't have the answers to these.
So,
you got any questions?
Yeah, we'll be taking questions shortly. So, all of you who want to ask Derek O'Brien questions, please write into us. We have a few questions. We'll take it as and when goes.
Okay.
Like, you've just brought the issue of the winter session of the Parliament. Now, in your book, you also write about how important it is for the opposition to stay in the House and make a point. Can we take it as a cue that is this going to be your agenda this winter session?
Yeah, I can't set the agenda. Nor can Trinamool set the agenda. Trinamool can set its agenda. There are other opposition parties, but I'm sure by and large, these are the issues. Now, I've got to make a point to tell you, who is this opposition? Today, the opposition is basically into one opposition, but in three groups. One large group, which is the Congress party. If you take the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, they cross about 100. The other large group is the Trinamool Congress. We've got about 50. And there's a third large group, which is also about 50-60, which is the rest of the opposition, the DMK, the SPs. Okay. So these are the three large groups which are very much part of the opposition. But there are many within even the NDA, like the Shiv Sena, and there are others who aren't very happy with the way things are going. So as we get closer to 2019, I think this number will increase because people are getting the feedback from the ground.
So we'll take a few questions now. Sudeepta Sen is asking, hi Sudeepta, he's asking us, sir, can you please share some funny incidents that took place inside the Rajya Sabha?
Let me find out. Is that Shudipto or Shudipta?
Shudipta, I don't know how it is.
Yeah. So Shudipto is a male name.
Okay.
Shudipta is a girl.
Okay, it says Shudipta. I don't know how to
Let me say
pronounce
Shudipta. Kothai gale. Shudipta, that's a man. Okay,
Yeah,
Shudipto Sen. Some funny incidents?
Yeah, some funny incidents that happened in the Rajya Sabha.
There are so many, and there are about 50 essays in the book. There are 2-3 maybe 3-4 light-hearted ones. So I'll tell you about one such incident. You know, when this AIDMK and DMK were, and they were having their internal issues. So one day I remember all the AIDMK MPs, they all wear they put a photograph of Jayalalitha in the pocket. So at that time, the DMK, AIDMK, the clash was there. So the leader of the AIDMK with his picture there was sitting next to Kani Modi and having a very animated conversation like this. So I just clicked a picture and I told him, I said, I'm going to send this to, this is when Jayalalitha was alive. I said, I'm going to send this to your boss. Oh, he was all like, I said, having a long conversation. But it was a false picture. I actually didn't click. But after that, for at least 2 hours and 3 hours, he kept on. Then I said, listen, I can do something. I can help you. I can delete this picture. But you got to buy me coffee and toast. So, fun stuff like that. Then one day, I had a fan moment in Parliament. A fan moment was when I saw Mr. Tendulkar. Now, spotting Mr. Tendulkar in Parliament itself, is it's like spotting a rare species of bird when you go bird watching. So Mr. Tendulkar was there, and so was Mary Com. So I got them to take a picture with me. Okay. Oh, I remember one more very sentimental moment when I spoke of a few speakers after Dr. Manmohan Singh on demonetization. Actually, that was asked a lot, but he spoke happily. And when he came out and he listened to my speech, he came and he said something very nice to me. And I'm not going to repeat that because that will be like...
but yeah, do tell us what he said.
Yeah, no, I won't tell you what he said. That's like,
Pat on your
that's cheap. That's a cheap shot. But I got a picture with him, and that's a memory. So there are so many, there are so many things like this. The one MP came and told me he was getting married, and he shared a video, like a music video he had done for his wedding. Wow, that was like really, that was really cool.
So yeah, somebody else is asking, do you feel the need for more Anglo-Indians to join the political process? Anthony Rosario.
I don't look at life like this. Who's Anglo-Indian, who's Sardarji, who is Punjabi, who's Hindu, who's Bengali, who's Parsi. It's not like that. My answer to him is that more Indians should join the political process. And what do I mean by that? Not everybody has to become a councillor, an MLA or an MP. Join the political process is come what may. Please go and vote. That's the first part of the process. Number 2, you can join the democratic process. I always say you don't have to come to Parliament to join the democratic process. You start in your own building. If you got to have 40 flats in your building, become the building secretary and make sure the garbage from the building is removed. Make sure the lights are put off. So these are the ways you can actually join public life. Make sure the lights are put off, make sure the garbage is removed, make sure the signage is good, make sure you are taking 4 to 6 children of maids or the drivers who work in your homes and see that they get a proper education. Do these little things. Otherwise, this thing of wanting to become a big time, you have to enter Parliament and not necessary.
So we'll be taking questions still, so do write into us. But apart from that, I want to ask you, sir, in your book...
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, do.
Why are you doing a Facebook Live at 10 o'clock in the morning? Who is on Facebook Live? Why don't you do this again?
Sir,
I want to do another... Why can't you have me on Quint again?
Sure, we'd be happy to have you.
When do you want to do it again?
Anytime you want to. No, So... To be honest, your PR said that morning 10 o'clock would be...
PR, I have no PR.
Not PR, the shop.
I wish I had a PR. Yeah,
No, sorry. It's the HarperCollins PR said that, 10 o'clock would be an ideal time.
HarperCollins have a PR.
Yeah,
so So you do something. You please come in the evening one day.
Yeah,
today,
sure, we'd be...
8:39, that's the time to do a Facebook Live.
Sir, but you'd
now
be
I have
surprised.
To go to Parliament, I'll tell you why. Because there's not a birthday party on, but there's a birth anniversary of the first Lok Sabha speaker.
So we'll let you in...
I'll tell you what. So I've got got to go now.
Okay.
10:30. You get me today, tomorrow, anytime in the evening, and we'll have some fun. Why don't you ask me some quiz questions about Parliament and anything you want?
Okay.
Even if I don't know the answer, I'll say I don't know the answer. Okay?
Okay, but sir, do spare 10 minutes with us.
When? Now?
Now, just 5.
But this 10:30 is the flower. We have to go into Central Hall and put petals on, like, last week was Indira Gandhi ji. Today is the first speaker of the Lok Sabha. What's the name of the first speaker of the Lok Sabha? Which school did you go to? Okay. Professor Malvankar. Okay. Yeah, okay. But I should stop. I finished quizzing some years ago, so I should stop kind of hassling you and saying, what's his name?
So can we ask some quick questions to you now?
If I don't go now, it will be very, very bad. It's discourteous. You'll have to let me go. I promise you, anytime this week.
Okay.
Anytime this week. You don't need any PR agency. You don't need. You just send me a text. We are like down to earth people. You send me a WhatsApp. I will respond to your WhatsApp.
Okay.
And then when you put this up on Facebook, I'll also share it on my Facebook.
Sure.
And what else can I say about Inside Parliament Views from the Front Row? It's available on Amazon. I don't know.
Yeah, it is
Maybe
available
Flipkart.
on Amazon.
I hope they're giving good discounts. I don't think anybody should buy this book online unless they give a good discount. What's a good discount for you? 35%.
No, that's a lot for a book.
Yeah, they should be given. Because they're selling a lot of copies on the book. So if anyone from Amazon or Flipkart is watching, so don't bring down the discount. I checked this morning. It was 35%. That's pretty cool.
Okay, is there...
By the way, let me clarify. The royalties from this book, okay, they're not going to help me buy a yacht. Okay, so I've decided that whatever royalties I get, few lakhs of rupees, I should give it to an institution of my choice. An institution of my choice, but I'm not telling you which institution it is.
Okay. So yeah, that was Derek O'Brien joining us and talking to us about his latest book, Inside Parliament. The book has a very contemporary take on contemporary issues and also the issues that are plaguing us and the policies and practices of the current government, and as I said before, the way forward. I hope we'll be joining Derek O'Brien soon for another Facebook Live.
Your editor you have to get it approved by editor that I'm going to come back on Facebook.
So yeah, that's okay.
Editors approved it?
They would be okay with
Okay,
it.
so you let me know. I'm going to be back on Quint, and I want to say one more thing for those of you watching Quint. You guys are doing a fearless job. The digital media today are doing a fearless job. You all got to keep this up. We've got to keep expressing ourselves, because it doesn't matter who you criticize, but you cannot be selective in your criticism. We've got to take the government on issues, and this is where the opposition parties need their fearlessness. Dam hona chahiye media mein. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all for joining us.